Hi Flosstube, I'm Kippy, the academic stitcher. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. This is Flosstube number 20. I have a fully finished, and I have a lot of projects to show you and some hauls. So let's get started. I had a few questions that were posted on my last Flosstube, and I wanted to answer those before we get started into the rest of the video. The first one came from Nan Russell. Nan, thanks for the question. She says, I was stitching sunflowers in August, but ran into problems choosing black fabric for the stitching with the Housewives pattern. I bought some chalkboard black Ada, which Kimberly Jolly uses. I like the dark gray color, but which old fabric is too stiff and scratchy for me. What fabric did you use for a sunflower jar? Did you dye it yourself? I just bought some RIT dye in charcoal, and I thought I would try dyeing Lugana a dark gray. I'm going to put a picture of my finish here, just in case you didn't see the last video. Nan, thanks for that question. I did use the Witch-Elf Ada that came with that kit. It is the only time that I'm going to use that Ada. I completely agree with you. For my taste, it's too stiff and too scratchy to work with. So what I will be doing on the remainder of those charts, and really on all of the other Priscilla and Chelsea charts that I'm going to be stitching, I'll be using a fabric that I dye, and I've got a lot of Monaco, and I've already stitched. In fact, I will show you this one, and I think I've shown this one before, but it is Long May She Wave. If you look over here on this side where I haven't stitched, you can see where the dye doesn't cover completely, and I really like that, because to me that looks like an old-fashioned chalkboard where the teacher has gone and erased stuff, and a lot of the chalk dust is still on the chalkboard. So and I'm going to show you another chart that I'm working on a little later in the video on one of my whips, where I'm using another piece of this same piece of fabric that I cut this piece off of that one when I finished this one, and I've started on another project. So this, you can tell this is nice and soft. It's not like the Ada that comes in those kits. And if you like that Ada, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. So I like Nan, I prefer a softer fabric to work with. So this is Monaco that I have dyed, and I believe that I used black. And I've got another question that talks about the dyeing process, so I'll get to that in just a second. But thanks, Nan, for that, and I hope that answers your question, and if not, just let me know. The next question came from Deanna Grove. She says, I'm new to your channel, so thanks for watching, Deanna. She says, I have a question. What is the piece with the clock face on it in the background in front of the vintage sign? I'm not exactly which piece you're talking about, but I'm guessing that it's right. Oh, okay, yes, I see what you're talking about now. Vintage, that's way over on that wall over there. This is the back of a chair right here. We actually call it the clock chair. I love this chair. When I moved into this house I moved from the Dallas-Fort Worth area back here to Lubbock, and I sold most of my furniture there, so I didn't have to move it, and then I bought new furniture when I got here, and this came from Lazy Boy, and it was the only one they had. In fact, I think it's been discontinued, but I'm not sure. But check Lazy Boy furniture, because that's where it's not a rocker, it's just a sitting chair. But that's a chair. Thanks, Deanna, for that question. I appreciate you watching and appreciate you asking the question. The last question comes from Krista Thompson, a Fancy Floss Stitcher. She asked, what colors did you use to dye your fabric for Lori Holt's Scarecrow, and how long did you leave it in, if you don't mind me asking? Thanks so much. I'm going to talk about that finish here in just a minute. Krista, but I think that I left it in. Oh, I didn't leave it in very long. I may have dunked it more than once. I wasn't really going for color. I was going for texture. So that is dark cobblestone Lugana, and I ordered it from 123 Stitch, and it's a really nice fabric. I believe it's 32 count. I'm almost positive it's 32 count, and it is Lugana is a blend fabric. It's part cotton, part polyester, so it doesn't take dye the same way that cotton does. And in order for me to get what I was going for, I had to dunk it a couple of times. And when I say dunk it, I squish it up. I wrinkle it up inside the little box that I dye it in, the little plastic box, so that some is on the bottom and some is higher, and so you don't get the same amount of dye, the same amount of water on all parts of the fabric while it's in the dye. But I did not leave it in very long. So hopefully, Krista, that answers your question. If not, let me know. I'm more than happy to share my very limited knowledge of fabric dyeing with you. To me, it's just an adventure and it's fun, and no two pieces ever come out the same. So thanks, Krista. Thanks for the question, and thanks to Nan and Deanna for their questions as well. This is my first FFO in a while. This is Pumpkins for Sale by Lori Holt. I stitched this one on dark cobblestone Lugana that I guess you could say over dyed with Rit dye, and I've had a lot of people ask what color I used, and I believe it was either taupe or camel. It was a long time ago. Well, it was last year sometime. So I'm not absolutely positive, but it was one of those lighter brown-ish colors. Taupe, camel, one of those. And I did not leave it in long. I was not going for color. I was just going for some texture. But I really do like the way that this little guy turned out. I used some of Lori's colors, but I also did some of my own DMC conversion. Like you can see, I made some of the pumpkins white. Thought that was fun. If I were to do it again, I would probably even add one of the bluish ones. And I reversed the way that the denim was on the little scarecrow's overalls. I changed up some of the patch colors. And I'm going to see how clear this will be. On his shirt, see, can you see that? There we go. Hold it really still. On the plaid shirt, I did 347. No, I'm sorry. Yes, I believe 347 red and 3865 white. And then I blended one strand of each for the blended squares, so that I thought it just makes it look more like a buffalo plaid shirt. Most of the other colors are the same that Lori uses in her chart. I did change the little flower on his cap to a sunflower. I think the color in the chart was pink, and it didn't fit with the way that I had this colored. So I just changed that to a sunflower. I believe I also changed the color of the post, and I may have changed the color of the sign. I did definitely change the pumpkins 25 cents. That was blue in the chart, and I changed that to the same color as the crow. So there she is, or there he is. pumpkins for sale. My daughter loves to shop at Goodwill. She finds all kinds of really cool stuff. And I wanted, because of his little denim overalls, I wanted to use denim on my finish. And she happened to have a pair of jeans that didn't work. They were too big. And so she was just going to toss them. And it's like, oh no, save that for me. I will be able to use it. And sure enough, it worked out really, really well. And I liked just the whole right there. The seam is showing. I even used part of the seam up here with the ribbon. I'm very happy with them. So, pumpkins for sale. The other project that I finished, I haven't fully finished it yet, is Tudor Bee by the Blue Flower, and I don't have my chart is a PDF, so I don't have a picture of the chart. But here is my finish of Tudor Bee, and I love the plaid Lugana, and I get this from Fat Quarter Shop. I especially like it for something like this. I think it adds a little bit of texture to the background, and it doesn't just scream plaid at you when you finish. It's just something in the background. This fabric I also coffee tea dyed, so it's a little bit more subtle, I guess you could say, than it would be if I had used it straight out of the package. I did change some of the colors up. I think I actually used the colors that were in the chart, but I did not necessarily use them exactly where they were in the chart. So I used the pinks and reds, but I may have changed up their location on some of the flowers and even on the bee herself. And in the circle or the oval that goes around the bee, I used the darkest red. I can't remember. I think it's 815. I used that one, but then I used one of the lighter, almost white pinks from the flowers. And I was a little worried because I don't really decorate with pink. But I don't know. I just really like the way this one came out. I think it's going to work fine. I know I'm going to make this into a pillow. I haven't decided what the backing's going to be or what I'm going to use for trim around the edges yet. Still working on that. So hopefully by next Flosstube, I'll have that fully finished. Oh, and by the way, I have this in my sunflower bag from Goose. Love Denise's bags. Let's see. Okay, the other things that I'm working on. This is by Lila Studio. Whoops, sorry. By Lila Studio, Nevermore. I started this one last year and just didn't get anywhere on it. I hope I haven't showed this to you already, but so I hope this isn't a repeat, but that's how far I've gotten. Almost ready to start the bird, the raven above here. I really like this. This fabric is 40 count. It's 40 count linen from 1-2-3 stitch. I'll put it in here. I'll think of it in a minute. It's a little rougher than some of the other linens. I also overdyed this, probably with taupe is my guess. But you can tell there's a little bit of texture to the color there. So, Nevermore. The next one And I still have hopes of finishing this in time for Christmas. This is Quaker Christmas 2 by Bygone Stitches. And here is my progress. This is 32 count Lugana that I have overdyed with camel. I say overdyed, I've dyed it with camel since it was white to begin with. Okay, I've started putting in some of the back stitching, the names of the songs. I think the last thing I worked on was the candle. I also finished this motif since the last time we chatted. So not lots of progress, to be very, very honest. I haven't spent a lot of time stitching. I've spent a lot more time sewing. I have 3 quilt tops at the quilters right now, so my next quilty tube, I should have several finishes to show you. I've also been working on some other quilting projects, much more than stitching, so I'm putting myself in a hole in getting that one finished in time for Christmas this year, but I need to. The only problem is there's so many other things I want to stitch too. Does anybody else have that problem? I want to get this done by Halloween, or I want to get this done by Christmas, but I also want to do this and this and this and this. And so we'll see. I have one more that is almost finished. If you don't watch Lori Holt's YouTube, especially her Flosstube, you should watch it. She has such wonderful inspiration, and I loved the way that she finished Bushel and a Peck by Not Forgotten Farm. My grandmother used to sing this song to us, and I had several people when I posted on Instagram say that their mother or their grandmother had sung that song to them when they were kids. And so I just thought it was so special. And this is a really precious little chart, but the way that Lori did it, the color changes that she did and she posted on her blog, I just thought were fantastic. And so here is my Bushel and a Peck. It is on Monaco, so it's 28 count. I wish it were smaller, but it's okay. I think I'm also going to make this one into a pillow. The only thing that's missing here is his little wing that's on this side right here. So I've just got to get that finished, and this chart will be done. I used Lori's color conversion except for the red. Lori did hers in pomegranate, and the red that I used, let's see, the red that I used was, I'll have it, Country Redwood by Gentle Arts. So the pomegranate that I had was really, it was a little too pinkish red, I thought, for the rustic look that this one had. And so I thought Country Redwood just matched a lot better for me. So Bushel and a Peck. Like I said, I think I'm going to make this one into a pillow. It'll be kind of a big pillow, but I mean big for a little pillow, but I don't know. I may frame it. I've just got to wait and see. So, whip number 3. Or is that 4? It's either 3 or 4. Finally, my friend Jennifer, the Calculated Stitcher, and I started this sunflower project for FQS Sunflower September. We started it last week. And sorry, I should have found this before we started, but this is, first of all, from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. And we're doing Priscilla and Chelsea's Buffalo Plaid Summer. It was fun because Jennifer lives much farther south in Texas than I do, and we just Zoomed and we worked on this together, and it was fun. She spent a couple of nights with me several weekends ago. We put a quilt together. We went shopping, and Jennifer keeps trying to blame all of her purchases on me. Don't you believe her? Because I did not force her to buy any of that stuff that she bought. Hey, we're free will creatures, right? Nobody forced her to buy what she bought. I just took her to the store. I just showed her where all the cool stuff was. That's all. Wouldn't you do the same for a friend? Come on, that's what we do for one another. So don't listen to Jennifer when she tells you that anything that tries to tell you that I cause things, because that is not true. Here we go. I'm starting again. I start in the bottom left. I think I'm the only person on the planet that starts in the bottom left. That's just the way I've done it since I started stitching again. Way back in the 80s and 90s, when I was stitching, I followed the rules. The either written or unwritten rule that said you started in the center and you worked out. That didn't work for me anymore, so I don't do it that way. Start in the bottom left, and I work across and up. So this is the S in summer. This is Rit dyed Monaco. So again, it's 28 count. And it is, I think this one was with black. I've done some dyeing with charcoal, but I actually think this one was black. And I really do like the fact now, and I probably dipped this one 3 times. And so there's still lots and lots of movement in that. I really do like it. Of all the things that I've dyed, I think Monaco takes the dye the best. Mostly, I'm almost positive it's because it's 100% cotton. Lugana has some polyester in it, and so it does not take the dye as well as Monaco. And the linen that I have dyed takes the dye differently than cotton does. So it's just kind of an adventure to dye your fabric, and I've had fun doing it. I'm not the greatest in the world. I'm certainly not an expert. I just found some videos online and started, experimenting. And my theory is, if I don't like it, I can try a different color. And if I still don't like it, I can get the charcoal and the black out, and I can dye it really dark, and I've got something to stitch some of Priscilla and Chelsea's chalkboard charts on, because I have a lot of those. So give it a try. I love dyeing fabric. I haven't done it in a while because I've been so busy, and that's one of the reasons also I haven't been able to stitch that much, because work has been so busy and family has been so busy. So But give it a try. It's fun. It's adventurous. It'll never come out the same twice, and your fabric will be different than everybody else's. So I'm going to switch up here, and I want to show you my haul. Just in case you haven't heard, which I'm sure you have, Michelle from Mama Loves You GB here on Flosstube and also on Instagram started a worldwide phenomenon known as the Great Floss Drop Swap. And I grew a lot of flowers this summer in my yard, and sunflowers are one of my favorite. First of all, they're easy to grow, and they're beautiful. They're so happy. And so I took a picture, or I made a floss drop from, there we go. Again, it's I've got a new camera because the one on my computer is kind of given out and it doesn't focus very well at all. So I got a new one, which is the one I'm using, and it blows things out. If I could actually be completely in the dark and I would still show up, but everything back there would be really bright. So I have to somehow find a balance. I used to be a photographer, and so I kind of understand the whole, light balance and stuff like that. But the way this webcam works is just got me baffled. It is so sensitive to light that it blows things out. So this is my floss drop. There we go. And it's showing up a lot lighter than it is in real life. But this is a flower from my yard that is watercolored. And so if you're interested in swapping floss drops, come over to my Instagram account and send me a direct message. I'd love to swap with you if you're interested. So, but I prefer to do it there because it's private. I don't feel comfortable giving my address, and I certainly don't want you to give your address because who knows what crazies are out there. So if you come on over to Instagram, send me a DM and we can exchange floss drops. I got some from Laura and Brenda, from Brenda and the Cereal Starter. I got some from each, and these are adorable. So, aren't those great? This one cracks me up. It's awesome. So haven't started, or haven't punched holes in these yet, because I haven't been stitching that much. But on my next project, those are the ones I'm using. Another non-stitching haul that I got this yesterday. The new antiquarian sticker book, Bibliophilia. Have you seen it? It's beautiful. It's very much like the original one that everybody was talking about last year or 18 months ago, whenever that was. But this one, it's got some quotes and things in it, which it's just fun. Lots of letters, lots of words. So just it's a little different, and it's more stickers. How fun can that be? Come on. I got mine from Amazon, pre-ordered it, and it was published yesterday, and so it came in the mail yesterday. So I love pre-ordering from Amazon. Okay, so Stitchy haul. This one, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. If you don't follow Al Forrest Embroidery on Instagram, you should go over right now and start following them. They're in Russia, and it takes, when you order from them, I think mostly they have kits. And this is a kit, and it came from Russia. How cool is that? And I'm going to see how close I can get it and it stay in focus. Of course, everything is in Russian on the label, but it's bees and flowers. I just love this, and so I wanted to show you the floss that comes with it, because I think they dye their own floss. So look how beautiful, there we go. Look how beautiful the floss is. I believe it is silk. I cannot wait to get started on this one. It also came with a needle minder. Now, can we get it to focus? Hopefully. Oh, there he is. It's a little bee and a needle. So it took about 2 weeks for it to get to me. But it came with everything you need, even the needle. It came with 32 count linen, and it's kind of a cream colored linen, which of course I will dye. Don't know what yet, but I plan on dyeing it. And am I going to use it on this project? I don't know. I've got some 40 count that I may use instead. So I don't know. We will see. But like I said, if you don't follow Al Forrest Embroidery, you should, because some of their work is just so beautiful. And ordering from Russia was easy, super easy. So give them a try. Okay, next up I have Happy Birthday America by Brenda Gervais. Let's see, let's turn it. There we go. It makes a little cake stand, a little cake with a cake stand. And this fabric with the alphabets on it comes with the kit. And I ordered mine from Shepherd's Needle, and everything came with it. So this is the paper mache box and the candle holder to make the little faux cake stand, and the Lady Dot Creates trim is in there as well. There we go. And they sent this great little pin with the beads. So I've had this for a little while, and I need to get started on it. But you know, yeah, patriotic season is not till next summer, but it's always a great time to stitch patriotic. So what else do I have? I got August calendar crates by Stitching with the Housewives. Sunflowers. Love them. And I'm kind of on a bee kick right now, so several of these have bees on them. I have Bee Skep Garden by From the Heart Needle Art. Yep. Love that one. And Summer at Hollyberry Farm. I've not stitched any of the Hollyberry Farm, so I'm excited about that one. And Weeping Tree Sampler by the City Stitcher. This is an older chart. What was the 1994? So this one's been around a while, but look at the trees. I love those trees. Certain things on stitching get me, you know, that if it's got a willow, if it's got a bee, if it's got a bee scab, if it's got an American flag, pretty much I'm probably, you know, it's probably a given that I'm going to be getting that. So, yeah, couldn't pass that one up. I think I ordered that one from Kitten Stitcher, I believe. So, and then lastly, I got my Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine late last week, I guess, is when I got this in the mail. Thanks for watching. This was a little short. Like I said, I haven't had a lot of stitching time, but I wanted to check in just because I want to stay in the habit of posting videos. If there is something that you see that you need more info on or whatever, I post just about everything over on Instagram. So if you want to comment here or find me on Instagram, comment over there. I love it when people ask questions. If there's anything I can do to encourage you to stitch more, I want to do that because you guys do that for me. And it's so different stitching now than it was when I was stitching way back when my kids were little, because of the online community and how much fun it is to meet new people and to just find new friends all over the country, all over the world, who share a love of stitching. So thanks for watching. I hope that something inspired you. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week, and I hope to see you again in October. Bye now.